True leadership exists only in selflessness and in passion to serve. The task of the leader is to get their people from where they are to where they have not been. How do we hold our leaders accountable in the business of lawmaking and representation? How do the people ensure that constituency projects are executed to the latter? The good thing is that some lawmakers are already blazing the trail by delivering on their promises. Welcome to Know Your Representative. I am Maria Olasheinde.
Exemplary leadership comes with a price. Everyone gets to see what you're doing.
That provision says, and I quote, "In the determination of his civil rights and obligation, he shall be entitled to fair hearing by a court or tribunal constituted in such a manner as to secure its independence and impartiality."
For Senator Bala Ibn Allah, the fundamental requirement of a responsible society is to educate its people. Education, they say, is power, and for this reason, he has embarked on a number of rebuilding classroom blocks in some of the 71 wards he represents. In Maga, for instance, an entire primary school has been pulled down and replaced by new blocks of classrooms with sanitary conveniences and refurbished offices for teachers.
Senator Balani Ibn Allah was the best senator I say we ever have in the constituency, because he's the senator that served in 4 years and touched the life of the common man in everywhere. He built us a primary education board. All these are the responsibility of the state, but Senator Balana Allah, instead of him to wait for state to do it for us, he's done it for us.
Firstly, let me say that no senator has done so much for the development of Yawuri like Senator Bala Ibn Allah. We are very appreciative of what he has done. That's why I gave him the traditional title of Baura. I gave him that traditional title to show people what he has done for the emirate. So we are really grateful, and we hope that he will continue doing developmental projects in this area.
This is Senator Ibn Balana Allah. He's the one who sent our chief to come and snap the photographs of the school. So that is how it started. Our teachers don't have tables. They keep their books on windows if they come to the class. But after the renovation of the school and new construction, so every teacher have a table and a visitor's seat, so that he can sit well and mark his assignments. Also, before we use pit latrine in the school, but when the school was constructed again, then they built water closets, toilets for us. That's what our teachers are using now. Very conducive. So the environment of the school now is good. Very neat classrooms with chairs. All classes with chairs. See the ceiling fans. To have a government primary school with ceiling fan and tiles. This is the first school in history. Even some people that they don't allow their pupils to go to schools now, by seeing these buildings, they just brought their children to our schools. So that's why we are saying thank you to Senator Ibn Allah.
What's your name?
My name is Hafsat Mbamai.
Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Donko Osago local government.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 12 years old.
What class are you?
I'm primary 6B.
What are your best subjects?
My best subject is English and Maths.
What do you want government to do for you?
I want government to still build our school, to give us blackboard and books and water and textbooks, exercise book and chairs.
Ya kawo mana ci gaba a wannan garin shine sai mun ka zo nan primary school mun ka ji an ka ce ai za a gina mana ajujuwa ne to shine muna nan an ka zo an ka auna gaba ɗaya an ka ce block 3 za a yi to yanzu gashi nan dai an fara yin aikin kuma muke yin aiki saboda mi abun da ya samu hakara jin karfin yin aikin mu muna da ɗaya nan kusan duk masu yin aikin ga suna da ɗaya mun zo ne saboda yaran mu za a yi ma wurin da za su kwanta da za su yi karatu a min shine mun ka zo muka ce to mun bari mu zo mu yi wannan aiki da kanmu yanzu haka muna kan aiki sannan duk abun da ya kamata ana kawo kayan aiki za a fara aiki saboda haka mu wanga aiki mu riga mun ji daɗi saboda ni yanzu haka ma ya mana wani alƙawari gaba ya ce in Allah da za a gina mana asibiti sannan mun ga kokarin shi kuma ya taimaka muna don saboda ni mu tsakani da Allah tun da inda an kai to mun ba mu taba jin daɗin siyasa wanga gari ba amma karon ga mun fara ganin development na ci gaban garin mu saboda haka muna ƙara roƙon Allah ubangiji ya ƙara kama mishi da wanga aikin da yake yi mana na alheri sannan mun ji labarin ya ce kuma zai yi mana asibiti to gaskiya kan muna da matsalar asibiti garin ga saboda haka mun ji daɗi kuma ubangiji Allah cika mishi nuhin shi na alheri.
The lawmaker has provided unlimited water supply through the installation of solar-powered boreholes in all the 71 wards in Kebbi South Senatorial District. He did not stop there. He understands that the youths are the pillars of a nation. So to ensure that they balance work and play, he embarked on the renovation of the Youths and Sports Center, which has become a meeting point for young people to interact and positively apply themselves. But like Oliver Twist, the people want more.
The truth of the matter is that we never requested for what we got from the senator. We never requested for it. It came as a surprise. It came as a dream. In other words, it came as a dream come true. We've had senators before him. We requested and nothing positive actually took place. There was no change, there was no changes. But when this man came on board, he realized the importance of sports. To our surprise, this man came to the stadium one day and said he is going to renovate the edifice we are using here. We thought it was a bluff, because that is what politicians are known for. Come and promise this and that, heaven and earth, but at the end of the day, you are not going to get anything out of it. After some little time, we discovered changes, and this is what we have on ground today. Changing the room, toilet facilities, water supply, the gates, the pitch, and everything. The only thing you can say is, may God reward him.
As the nation struggles to contain the spread of coronavirus, which is almost leading to a global meltdown, the senator, in his magnanimity, donated the newly completed Umar Gawama Public Health Center, the Kanya and Amina Kura Memorial Public Health Center, Garibaka, as isolation and treatment center to complement the efforts of the Kebbi state government in containing the virus. As Senator Bala Ibn Ala continues to dish out leadership goals to other lawmakers, it is expected that others would follow in his footsteps because, as they say, to whom much is given, much is expected.
Welcome back, and you're still watching Know Your Representative. My guest today is Senator Bala Ibn Ala. He's the senator representing Kebbi South Senatorial District. On the show today, we'll be taking a look at the education sector, provision of water supply, and of course, the welfare of the youth in Kebbi South Senatorial Districts. Like the saying goes, youth are the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you, distinguished, for joining me on Know Your Representative.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Today we start with education. Let's talk about education in your constituency. I went around the schools, I said that you built schools. Fantastic job that you've done for your people, and you've actually made the environment conducive for the pupils to want to come to school. What was the situation before this intervention?
Well, I really will have hoped that you have had the opportunity to see those schools I demolished and renovated from the scratch. They were virtually not, they can't be called schools within the concept of learning sphere. And I felt that when I was growing up, we had all the opportunities in life, good schools, good blackboards, good teachers, and I feel that it would be very, very unfair at this level of my life to tend to neglect that aspect that I believe was what built me to be what I am. And then I will not afford the children of those who elected me into office to equally have the same opportunity. And as I'm happy you said you have gone around. Most of the school, I demolished the entire school. Build the school from the scratch, put fans, put tiles, put water so that they can have access to hygiene. Chairs and tables, good ones. Not, you see, there is this concept about governance in Africa that we must try and change. When you as a leader begin to think that in taking decisions for those you lead, they are less deserving of the good things of life than yourself, I don't think you are offering leadership. So I felt that I should build a school that I can take my child to go and read in that school. And that's informed the basis of that kind of structure that you saw in Maga, in Takware, in Changa, all over the places that I'm doing. And I will continue to do my best to upgrade those primary schools.
I'll take you back to the rehabilitation of Maga Primary School. One of the challenges they have that we noticed when we got there is they need more teachers. Are you planning to help them with this?
I am trying to mobilize the community to understand that as long as we continue to remain dependent on government to get our needs, we might never get to the promised land. So we have to internally try to source those who have retired from service to see whether through community efforts we can fund them to impact education on our children. And I'm setting up something along that line. And I hope that before the end of the year, we will come up with something, but you can see that there is a very conducive learning environment for the children, and the children are happy to come to school. You see, if you make a school to look better than a child's home, he will always want to be happy to leave his home and come to the school. He wants to come and see the light. He wants to come and see fan. He wants to come and go to a nice toilet where he can. So he's motivated by that. So beautifying school environment is one of the things you do to entice children to begin to find, education as very, very rewarding.
Okay, let's talk about the Federal University of Agriculture, Zuru. It's obvious you can't wait for the takeoff of the university. Tell us more on the update. I also know that you've been having meetings with the Vice Chancellor. What more do we need to know about the university? Well,
as it stands today, the only thing that is holding us back is the decision of Kebbi State as to where they will give us as our permanent site. Otherwise, our intention was to take off by this September. We are still pushing, trying to put in our best to ensure that this has come to fruition. That university has a history. We are still very, very grateful to Mr. President for assenting to that bill and then making sure that things are in place for taking up. The only thing holding us as at today is Kebbi State government's decision to give us a befitting permanent site for the take-up of the university.
Well, you'll agree with me that the rate of unemployment, the rate is very, very high. So what are you doing to curb unemployment among the youth in Zuru?
Well, I'm happy that you have seen what I have done. In Zuru and Yawuri, what I did is to now go to the stadium that traditionally we used to have that were abandoned. Renovate them, put like a community club where you can come and play tennis, come and play different kind of games, and indoor and outdoor. Now, there are two things I wanted to achieve by that. One, you have seen people who became renowned people for playing basketball and the rest. What is it that makes you think that we cannot get one from Zuru or Yawuri? You understand, like the like of Brian and the rest. So when you give opportunities to youths, you now leave them to develop themselves to the level to which they become very, very useful to the society. And that informs the rehabilitation of the stadium and putting up those structures for them to be able to utilize. We will continue to advise that those who have opportunity and privilege of going to the university must know that they cannot all be absorbed by government, and therefore must begin to look elsewhere, for the purpose of developing themselves.
Let me take you to the provision of water supply, boreholes in each schools and wards, and it's on record that your people have said they've never had it this good. What prompted this?
The option a leader has is to invest in buying medicine for waterborne diseases, or to provide water so that that amount of money that will have been used in buying medicine for waterborne diseases can be diverted into something meaningful. That informs my decision. So what I decided to say, okay, fine. I had about 71 wards. I had hospitals, I had schools, all suffering from access to potable drinking water. So I said, okay, let me embark on that. So in each of the 71 wards that I represent, I have put off something meaningful that I can call water services. And then in the major towns like Yauli, like Ngaski, like Zulu and the rest, what I embark upon is what we call water reticulation. Now it gives opportunity for different sections of the community to have huge tanks that can be taking along the line of the community that lives, so that everybody can have access to water. You don't need to come out from your house to be able to have access to water. And I think that is degrading, and that informs the issue of saying, okay, let me do water reticulation. Whoever has access to the main pipe can now put water in his house, and then you can, within the comfort of your house, have access to potable drinking water that will assist. Now, that will reduce significantly the waterborne diseases that we used to have, like bilharzia and the rest. And you can see from the record, I am somebody who is very, very interested in statistics, and I kept on saying, give me statistics on the increase of this, and it has drastically reduced. So this is the thinking that should go into governance.
Okay, so let's talk about this pandemic, the coronavirus. As the nation is struggling to contain this pandemic, what have you put in place for your people in terms of palliatives? You'll agree with me that there is hunger in the land.
Shortly before government took the decision to go for lockdown, what I did was to say, okay, we have huge number of women who, given the chance, can transform themselves into something. And what I did was, and you can go and find out, for each of the 7 local governments in my constituency, I empowered 351. In each of the local governments, 351. Each one had access to at least 20,000. The women. Then I said, okay, when it comes to palliative, who are the needies? And in determining my own definition of needies, I said, okay, I want people whose husbands are no more and who are left with children, and that's the widows. And I said, okay, in Ngaski, Yawuli, and Shanga, I gave palliatives. At times, I wanted to double as palliative, and then my responsibility as a Muslim towards my brethren for the purpose of fasting. If you go to my constituency, they will tell you I'm the kind of person who hates to advertise what I do for my people, because am I saying they are less deserving, that when I do it I must come and tell the public that this is what I have done? But go and ask them. Go and ask them anywhere you are. Feel free, in anywhere in my constituency, anywhere, what is the impact of Senator Na'Allah as it relates to palliative or anything. And then when you get the answers, come and tell the public. But I'm absolutely sure you will not meet a very poor response.
Okay. The next question I'll ask you in English, but I want you respond in Zulu. That's one part that we're trying to carve out for the program, to actually show that the senator has a connect with his people and can actually speak his language. So the question is very simple. Where do you want to see your people, your constituents, in the next 2 or 3 years?
Zulu has about 16 different languages, and not many people know. Not many people know. That small enclave I will give you an example so that you get it clearly. From the prominent sons and daughters of Zulu. General Magoro is a Bafake. General Tanko Ayuba of blessed memory is a Baduke. It's different tribe. General Ishaya Bamai is a Badakari. I want you to understand. Take like somebody like AIG Lord Bawa. He is a Kambari man. So in that small enclave that you see, we are multi-ethnic, multi-religious. But one happy thing that I love is that we have always existed as brothers and sisters. We don't see those differences.
The one that they will understand and they're like, so Senator can speak this dialect.
Okay. Ina godiya da duka shawarwarin da suka zo da mutane da sarakuna, more especially sarkin Yauri da sarkin Zuru da kingin manya-manyan 'yan siyasa da suka bayar wanda ya sa muka iya samun ci gaban da muka samu. Kuma ina fatan cewa za su taya mu da addu'a mu ci gaba da mai da bukatunsu su namu bukatu a rayuwa don nuna shugabanci a al'umma a ƙasar Zuru da Yauri.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming on here representing.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
When you go to my local government, maybe you will see the solar system we put. How I wish you were there in the night. You will see how it reflects. People, he has done everything. When you go to the rural area, even if you can reach the hard to reach areas, you will see his project. There was a time when I was even telling one of his aides that they should be writing his name on his project for the people to know. But Bala said you don't want. You don't want his name to be appearing on the projects he did. But I'm telling you, even up to the hard to reach areas, when you go, you meet his project.
He has done more than enough. The only thing is now for we used to pay him back. By either becoming the next governor, 2023, because he is an exemplary leader, a leader with no equal.
That's the Know Your Representative. Join me again next week as I bring you another lawmaker who has impacted positively in the lives of his people at the grassroots level. Follow us on our social media handles showing on your screen. Until then, please stay safe and maintain social distancing. Thanks for watching. I am Maria Lashainde.